to episode 20 of Success Way. And today I have a very special guest, Elisabeth Courland.
Hi.
And she's very active, one of the most consistently active people on LinkedIn and other social media talking about customer success. And she's been named as top 25 influencer in CS. And I was just telling her that I watch some of her podcast, even though I don't fully understand French, but still I tune in from time to time. So it's my pleasure to introduce Elisabeth. And so, Elizabeth, I was just kind of going through, your personal website, and you talk a little bit about your journey as a customer success manager. So you want to just kind of chat about that for a little bit?
Yes. So first, thank you so much for receiving me. No pressure given the introduction. Thank you so much. Uh, so yeah, I've started in CS 9 years ago, I think now, and I just kind of started in CS without knowing what it meant. I had to move in south of France, and I was desperately looking for a job. And it just this job happened to be there. So and then I fell in love with the job and left the city, came back to Paris, and grew my way and started and grew my way in CS. And now I'm a digital CS and CS ops for Agorapulse. But before I was a high touch CSM. Then I became digital CS, and now I'm digital CS plus CS ops, and I'm loving that. I'm loving that so much that I'm trying to do some other stuff on the side regarding CS, of course. So I'm hosting monthly webinars in French, and so it gives me the opportunity to introduce some people, Slack community, and I'm also trying to create additional websites so it can help the community. For instance, I'm working on a project now about implementation of a CS platform. So people who do not have a CS platform yet can can understand what it is, and yeah, have a better understand about what it takes.
Yeah, thanks. So let's jump into the topic for today, Elizabeth. So, digital CS. What is digital CS? Why is it relevant? And what are some of the benefits for people who might still be on the fence?
So, what is digital CS? Digital CS is CS at scale, meaning CS via automation. I do not mean that human CS are not useful. I'm not saying that at all. I'm saying that sometimes as a CSM, we tend to do a lot of repetitive action, send the same email, check the same stuff, and we lost tons of time doing the same automatic or repetitive task that do not have any added value as a human. So digital CS is based on that. So it's used to send automatic email to the customers and automatic task to the customers. So as a CSM high touch, you can focus on your real added value as a CSM. And it can also be used to serve customers that do not pay enough to have a dedicated customer success manager. So they have a digital customer success manager, meaning they receive automatic email based on their behavior or based on their way and their maturity through the customer journey. Does it make sense?
Yes.
Awesome. So this is what it is. Why do we need it so far? We need it because as CSM, we all don't have enough time during the day. We need more time. We need to do more stuff every day. We need to do more tasks, and digital CS is really there to help us save more time, so you can really focus on what matters to you and focus on the strategic stuff. It's also useful because with the economic context, all company needs to do more with less resource. So there, digital CS can really help you, CS at scale, also if you want to call it that way. CS at scale can really help you in a way that you will put all the tasks that do not have any human intelligence behind. So customer can still receive email, They can still be warned about what's happening. And as a CSM, you can focus on what's matter. For instance, sending automatic email for renewal to come. It's just an email saying, hey, your renewal email, your renewal contract, sorry, that is at this date. If you want to get back to me, reply to this email or book a meeting with me. And you don't need a real human CS to do that. So it's a kind of a virtual assistant.
Uh, so I've heard that before, trying to do more with
Yeah.
less, especially in the last year, 12 months or so. I've been in, that resonates with a lot of people, especially the executives who are kind of working with their CS departments and organizations. So, definitely that's something that many people are looking to do. So in terms of, you mentioned that's automating some of the repetitive tasks and emailing, like you just mentioned. Um, are there other kind of initiatives outside of, let's say, automating emails and automating some of these tasks that enables that takes customer success from here to a next level
Yeah,
up with a digital first approach?
absolutely. So first, I need to warn that it really depends on the resources that you have at your disposal and what you want to achieve. If you have customers that do not have the same desired outcome, obviously CS at scale can be difficult. But if all your customers have the same purpose, or if all of them have the same objective using your product, therefore it can be implemented. So obviously you have emails. You also have forms. Forms are a great way to enable your customers to get back to you without talking to you personally. And forms are also a good way, in a way that are a great tool, sorry, in a way that you can easily order the answer and understand the priority and the urgency of the response. For instance, you know that the person that pays the most money will need to be treated first, or the person with the renewal date who's the closest will need to be approached first. So you have the forms. You also have the communities that are very useful to interact. I never used community personally, neither Slack or Salesforce or other model, but I know they are very popular. It's very good in a way that customer can discuss together. The disadvantage of that, obviously, is that if customer can talk together, it means they can talk together about anything. Also complaining about bugs, complaining about competitors. So that's one reason why I never use that, but I've also heard it's super great, so why not use it? And finally, webinars. Webinars are very cool in a way that you can address directly your customers as a company, as a human, and heard back from your customer in that way.
Okay, so we have a quick question from Conrad, and
Hi.
he wants to know, how do you leverage customer centricity with a digitalized motion? How about critical touch points like QBRs, which is obviously a big part of a CSM's life, and so forth?
Yeah, business review, we do not use it. I do not use it as personally, but I use reviews and forms to let our customers communicate with us, to let us know what's wrong with them, if there is anything wrong with them, if they want to churn. We have some automations that can be put in place. So if the customer say, I want to churn, they cannot churn, like, unless they churn like in one day before the end of the subscription. We have some time to gain them back. So it's really about enabling the customer to come back to us and let us know what's wrong with them. But we do not use quarterly QBR or business review as a high touch CSM would do. I know a lot of products do that, like Cast App. It's not a product that I had the opportunity to use, but Cast App is really cool in a way that you can put within a presentation, within a dynamic presentation, how many users, how many accounts you have, how many, really gather all the touch points and enable the customer. I think it's regarding the setup, but you need to talk to them about that. Show the customers the ROI that they get from the platform. But the issue is still the same regarding business review. And I think we have the same issue for high touch CS or for low touch CS. It's always the same thing. Do our customer care about business review? Do they get bored? If they get bored, why do they get bored? And what do they really expect from that kind of appointment? Do they expect us to re-show the value of the product? Do they expect us to show them additional features? So it's really enabling the customer to say, what do you expect from this appointment? Maybe you can ask that at the beginning of the journey, and on a basis, sorry, saying to the customer, okay, you wanted to see this and this and this, therefore I push you this newsletter, or I push you this information dynamically.
Okay, no, that's a good point. I mean, I think many times CSMs might ask that question at the beginning of the journey, but
Yeah,
I think it's equally relevant or even more relevant to ask that same question on a regular basis,
exactly.
because the people that you're working with change, right? I mean, there's churn even not just, in one place, in your customers as well.
Yeah.
And so new people come in, they have new expectations, new backgrounds, and all of that. So
And I would just like to go back to the first question regarding customer centricity. So if customer centricity is what it is what I think, sorry, meaning desired outcome, what we do is that at the very beginning of the journey, we send a form with a single select option, like what do you want to achieve? Because we listed the desired outcomes that the customer wants to achieve. And based on that, we send to the customer periodic information about that. Hi, Carlos. I also see the
yeah,
question
so
coming.
Carlos has an interesting comment that QBRs are archaic.
Yeah,
um, and we need to deliver the content on demand, and customers can interact anytime during the journey.
exactly. So to me, the point is really how do we succeed to reach to our customers strategically? To me, what I think and what I saw so far is that when we interact with customer, we interact with them on a really operational level, and that's an issue because our customer tends to mix us with support. How do we make sure that they see us as a trusted advisor? As a trusted advisor, what do you want to achieve in your business? How our product help you to achieve that? And based on the place of the product within your strategy, how can we help you and what are you not happy with? It's not really about support issue, escalation, time to support, because it's really operational. QBR, and Carlos, you're absolutely right on that. It's really about strategically, where are we in your journey, dear customer, and how can we help you? So, and to answer that, maybe it's just a matter of asking the right question within a form.
Yeah, yeah. No, I mean, there's just a response from Conrad about, depends on the level of engagement, whether you have the customer, if you have a VP or exec, you can use that QBR excuse to create relationship. I
Exactly.
totally agree with that, because a lot of times busy execs you need some hook to get them.
Still, it's not about business review, it's about creating a relationship. And therefore, would the community serve the purpose? So it's really about what is a QBR? Why, as a company, do we want a QBR with our client?
True, true, true. Okay, so I mean, so let's say we have digital CS now fully deployed and everything. What are some of the KPIs, Elizabeth, that a CSM should be aware of, and that the management of a CS team should be aware of and should focus on? And what does those things tell them, and how they should read those KPIs?
So obviously for the management, the KPI is very clear. It's expansion, reduction of churn, adoption, and yeah, expansion just. So how do we manage that? Basically what I did, so we use Plan Hat as a as a customer success tool. And what we did is that as soon as someone expand their account through an automatic email, we just tag the email, and so the management can really see what's going on that. Regarding adoption, it's a bit tricky because we never know if it's natural or based on an automation, based on an email education. It's a bit more complex. But at least regarding management, that's the KPIs they will want to know on a quarterly basis. They don't care about how many initiatives we launched. They just care about, did we succeed to grow the revenue of the company? When we go one level below, it's more operational. So what I take care about, it's really how many customer did I reach, how many customer did I wake up, so regarding the silent customer, because I'm only taking care of customer who don't have a CSM. And to pilot that, we are also looking within for my emails at open rate, click rate, response rate.
Okay, well, that makes sense. I mean, because I know sleeping customers you mentioned. I mean, a lot of people struggle with that. What
Yeah,
and like, what are some of your best practices around that for a CSM to wake up, like you put it, to wake
sure.
up some of these sleeping customers?
So to wake up sleepy customer, what we do at Agorapulse is that we tell them about their business issue, and not we do not tell them about Agorapulse. So at Agorapulse, what we do is that we help customer posting with their social media. So if they do not connect, we are not going to tell them, hey, we have an awesome new feature, because they don't care. They don't connect to our platform. And instead, what we tell them is that tell us what you want to achieve with social media management, and we'll send you a documentation on that. So they fill a form, and as soon as the form is filled, we send them another documentation with best practices using our features. But it's a nice way to grab them. Another way that we do, and that we are currently implementing, is the webinars. With webinars, we are not going to tell them about the product at all. We're just going to tell them about best practices of another successful customer, and how our product was, what was the place of our product within the strategic, within the successful strategy. So we want to switch. We want to change the way we interact with our customer, not speaking to them about our product, our price, our feature. It's really about, hey, dear customer, why did you decide at some point to spend money? It's because you had an issue. Let's speak about this issue. What was the issue? How did you solve that? And if you did not solve that, how others succeeded, so they can get inspiration. And that's exactly what we're looking, for instance, all of us, when we go on LinkedIn. When you go on LinkedIn and when you see someone speaking about churn, tackling silent customer, you want to know, what did they do that I did not do? So we are trying to adopt this strategy.
So, in the webinars, you mentioned that do you invite the customer, someone from the customer side, to come speak about their ecosystem, or you have a CSM who works with them jump in
That's a
and talk
project
about?
that we are working on. It's not implemented yet.
Oh, okay, okay.
What we are doing is that for since 6 months now, as soon as someone has a very good usage of our product, and we can see that on our CSP, customer success platform, we send them an email asking them for a testimonial. What do they want to do? Why did they want to go on our product? And what did they succeed to do? So now we have a solid list of people that we know are happy about the product. Based on that, we're going to segment our population, our customer, understand where do they come from, convince them or invite them to speak with us on a publicly, just like we do, invite our customer from the same segmentation, so they can be more inspired and indeed inspire silent customer and others. I see
Okay.
Valerie from my team wasn't there, so Valerie, you know now.
Okay, excellent. So, the other one, topic around digital CS is use of data, right? I
Yeah,
mean, how can CSMs effectively utilize customer data and insights from digital touch points? QBR is a touch point. Are
sure.
there other touch points, and what data can a CSM leverage?
So honestly, without data, you cutting your legs. Digital CS cannot be done without data. You have different kinds of data, and all data can be used, but you have to use your revenue data, so information about what kind of plans they have, how much do they pay, when did they start, when is the subscription, when is the renewal date. You also have information regarding the support that you also need to have. For instance, how many support tickets do they have? When was the last ticket aggregated? So revenue information, support information. You also have obviously usage information, CRM information. Sorry, who are the people within the account? Where are they located? What's the address? Stuff like that. What is the role within the product? And finally, data information, events. So what did they perform within the platform. And this last part, event information, is critical. Unfortunately, when you start to implement a customer success platform, you start looking at the customer success platform instead of really looking at the data that you have at your disposal. Without the data, you cannot reach to your customer based on the behaviors that they have or do not have, and therefore you're cutting your leg. Data is critical. On my side, I also joined my current company because our data department is amazing. I have a meeting every 2 weeks with our data team, and I speak to our data team every single day. You need a team within your company to translate what you have to do. If you don't have a data team, you need to create a data mapping to submit to someone, so you can say to your team, in order to follow my customer, in order to help them right, I need to understand what they do here, 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 and you make a list. And if it's not implemented, I'm not saying that you won't be able to do digital CS, but it's going to be very tough.
Great point. So actually, let me just pull on the you mentioned you have a great data team,
Yeah,
IT as some people might call it. Uh, so how can collaboration, right? Because you meet with them every 2 weeks.
yeah,
So that is, I'm assuming, for collaboration. So what are some of those types of things that a CSM or a manager or a executive, managing the CS team can do to increase collaboration with other departments? I mean, obviously
mhm,
the IT or data team is one, sometimes sales, you mentioned sales data, and sometimes, product development. How do you bring all of this together so that CS can succeed?
sure. I think that when it comes to gathering information from different data, you need to have one representative, and in that case, it's me. So I'm gathering the needs from the CS team, as because I'm also CS Ops. So it would be CS Ops, and the CS Ops is going to interview the departments to also understand what are the expectations to the CS team, and based on this interview, the CS Ops will be able to translate this information to the data team. Let me give you an example. For instance, when you launch a new feature, you want to make sure that you are tracking what our customers are doing, or if you are doing tags, for instance, we offer our customer to put tags. You want to know how many tags our customer have. So it's a static information plus a dynamic information based on who did something or who did not do something. So this is in information that is critical and built with the product, because you need to understand with the product what the feature is doing in depth, so you can translate your need to the data team. When it comes to the daily usage of the CSP by the CS team, you need to translate to your data team in their terms, in their language, what you want to achieve or what your CS team wants to achieve in their language, so they can implement that. And in order to do that, it's always changing. There is always something that is not working or need implementation or need to be improved. There is always an information that is not quite clear. And yeah, it cannot be a one-time project.
So when you say translate, you mean someone who can understand what the CS team wants to achieve, and then translate it into a set of requirements that
Exactly.
more technical people can understand and actively implement. So it's kind
Yes.
of like actionable requirements for the CS team, and then vice versa, going back the other way. It's basically taking what they've implemented and
Yeah.
translating it, as you put it, into the features that, or the capability that the CS team now has, with
Yeah.
whatever tweak or change or modification or a new
Absolutely.
implementation that got done. Is that right?
Right. Exactly. To give you an example, in my previous job when I was high touch CSM, I needed to communicate a lot with my with my support, with my dev team. It was directly the dev team. I was CSM plus support. And when my customer were having an issue, I could not take the issue and just throw them to the dev team. Dev team have a very specific way of saying stuff. So I needed to say, when the customer wants to achieve this, they are clicking there to do this. And therefore I had to attach some stuff, some screenshot from the console stuff that we are all doing as CSMs that we maybe should not do. So it's really that kind of translation. You are saying the same stuff, but you're just adapting your language to the team. Same thing with the product team. I don't want the product team to tell me how my CSM or how CSM of my team should act with our customers, because it's our job. I want the product team to tell me what they can provide or not provide as product. Same thing with the data team.
So we will touch upon actually some of that later on in terms of skills and competencies because that is what you just referred to. So, but we'll come to it in a minute. So let's moving along. The digital CS journey here, so to speak. One other topic that keeps coming up is and you referred to earlier as well, which is the human touch versus automation and how to balance that. We low touch, high touch, sleeping versus super active versus
Mm-hmm.
super unhappy versus super happy, and you
Yeah,
have all these various segments of customers, and you need to balance everything with this with this digital CS approach. How do you handle, or what is your way of kind of making sure everything is lining up?
sure. So I have a strong collaboration with the support team, because we realized that by sending automatic email to our customers, most of the questions who came back was technical questions that could be handled by the support team, because it was an education matter. So what's happening is that as soon as there is all the email are sent from Elisabeth, but it's another email, it's not my real email. And if the customer responds, a support person, a human person, will answer to the customer. So it's a mix between automation and human. Also, when the person answers to a form, and in the form they are saying that they are not happy, there is also another automation that will send back an email to the customer to say, we understand that you are not happy. If you added a question, the support team will come back to you. Why are you not happy? What can we do? And it is sent from the support team. So the person answers, and the support person gets back to the client. So it's a good mix of understanding, like, the support team and the CS team are really working closely on that. So yeah, it's how it's working at the moment. And what's also happening is that for hybrid communication, so when there is a CSM plus a digital automation, so most of the time it's surveys to understand the satisfaction of people who are not directly in touch with the CSM. If the customer is not happy, if the end user is not happy, or if the champion is not happy, an automation will directly indicate to the CSM in charge, hey, this customer is not happy, please reach out.
Okay, so I mean, is on the last point, is that using any sentiment analysis kind of tool, or is it more human support figuring out that they had
Oh,
customer had a bad issue?
no, we are clearly using Airtable for all our forms, because that's the tool I knew when I entered, and I realized that NPS was not on my side. If you ask me my opinion, I am not for NPS, because, for instance, if you send an NPS survey to an American, if you send an NPS survey to a French person, they will have the same sentiment, but the rating will not be the same, because French people are really rough when it comes to rating people, and Americans are very high in rating, even if they are not happy. So what I do is that I just send a survey to say, based on your experience on the X last month, what is your feeling with our product? Not happy, hey, don't care, or amazingly happy. So and they can just use one. So there is no question about, are you happy or are you not happy? And based on that, we update the CSM score within our CSP tool.
No, it's so funny you should bring that up because I've sat in multiple endless meetings on just that topic and how to scale the NPS surveys from the from clients of a
Exactly.
certain geographical profile versus the others,
Exactly.
and
At the end of the day, you just want to know, is my customer happy? So just ask
exactly.
them, are you happy? Are you not happy? Or don't you care?
Yeah, but it's just that all the tools have
Yes,
this 0 to 10 and
exactly.
detractor this and passive that, and
Absolutely.
it's
Absolutely. I'm aligned. But what's interesting in that is, indeed, with the segmentation, with the and with the cultural way of thinking, it's just very difficult. I've always thought it was very difficult. So when I had this opportunity, I just I just threw it out and used Airtable. Hi, Charlotte.
So yeah, so Charlotte has a question. How did you structure your digital CSM team within this segment and versus the wider success team?
So we are 12 in our team, if I'm not mistaken. I'm the only digital CS, but as I was saying, I'm not managing answers to the customers. The support team is taking care of that. And I report to my head of CS. And I'm also, I am, sorry, digital CS plus CS ops. So I'm the only one in my team. And my job is basically to create communication, create operations, and monitor how they are doing. I mean, I am not chatting with our customer if they have an issue. However, I know that some organizations have a model of pooled CSMs, meaning that if there is an issue or if a call is requested, CS3 or 4 CSM will rotate to help the customers. In our company, that's not how we do things because we have a very effective and support team, and this team loves to help. So, or they have to help. I don't know, but they're helping us with that.
Excellent. So, one thing that, people will kill me if I don't ask, which is the use of AI. Do you use AI?
So we discussed that just before our the webinar, and I was a bit scared of this question because I was really scared to not provide a good answer. No, I do not use the AI in digital CS. I'm using AI. I'm using ChatGPT in my side project, but I'm not using it in digital CS because in AI you asking something to provide an answer to a situation, and in my communication I really need to control what I'm sending. And I cannot risk a tool to send a bad answer to my customer, so I'm not using it at all. Sorry.
Okay, sounds good. No, I mean, there are both sides of it. Some people keep talking about AI everything, and then I was just talking to a couple of people who are kind of in the field of AI, and they were talking about how Chat GPT and all of
Yeah,
that. The usage has been going down for the past few months. So I think
it was
we haven't reached the point where
yeah.
AI is really useful
However,
for everything.
I think AI is super powerful for high touch CSM. I tried to do that with ChatGPT at some point, but what I wanted to do as CS Ops was for every quarter to send a reminder to the CS in charge so the AI would interrogate the internet about what's going on within the customer company. Did they hire someone? Did they fire the department? What was the evolution? But ChatGPT does not do that, so I was not able to implement that. But I think it could be very useful as long as you do not let AI interact directly with your customer. It really needs to be internal so you can control the mistakes.
Yeah, I agree with that. So, on a more what should I say, common problem, which is scaling, right? So, let's say you go from 5, 10 to 20 to 30 CS team. How do you scale with digital CS? And let's also talk about when the customer, your sales is super successful, and boom, there's a
Mhm.
exponential growth in customers. The scaling, how do you do that?
So in our team, when our customer expand, so when they reach a certain amount of money in terms of spending, they pass to another segment. So they have a dedicated CSM. We also have 3 segments in our organization. So either they have digital CS, so which is me. Also, or they have a renewal manager who's just taking care of them when they have to renew, or they have a dedicated CSM who's interact with them more frequently. So based on if they expand, they leave my segment and they go to another segment, meaning they will still receive my communication, maybe less, but they will still receive my communication. So less repetitive stuff for the CS in charge. In terms of scaling, I did not get the opportunity to experience that at the moment, but I'm collaborating a lot internally with some people. So I'm definitely working with a proofreader. I'm working with a lot of people in marketing. So maybe at some point I'll need to integrate a marketing person in my team, a PMM person in my team. If at some point the tickets or the answers from customer are too high, or are too large, I will need to integrate a pool CSM to my department or to my one department, meaning me, and as we are launching new activity and like the webinars, as I said, maybe we'll need to have someone full time on that to interact in live with our customer, even if it's at scale. But at the moment, it's
Okay.
just me, so I'm dreaming.
So, Elizabeth, you have a couple of questions that I would like to hit here. So, one is from Charlotte again. So, do you cover the full customer journey, including onboarding, upsell, renewal, etc.?
Absolutely. We do. I do cover the full customer journey on the account level and on the end user level. What does it mean? It means that as soon as a trial becomes a customer, I send an email to the person who paid to say, welcome, please check this help center and stuff like that. When someone joins the account, when they are in the retention phase, I'm also sending them an email to say, welcome, you joined the company, maybe you don't know about these features, this is what we have, etc. I also deal with the upsell. So based on what they have within the product or what they don't have, I'm pushing them a product, more features, and I'm pushing them to pass from monthly to yearly commitment. It's working quite well. And when it comes to the renewal, I'm also working with that, but it's just emails to be sent to say, hey, just for you to know, the renewal is at that date. And if the customer is not happy, they are just writing back to the CSM in charge. And for the high touch CSM, we also send a digital email regarding the renewal, but the customer has the ability to book a slot within the with the CSM in charge, and we use Calendly for that. So the CSM is really free and has more time to focus on what they need and what they want.
Sounds good. So, one other question we have from Conrad: Are comp plan different for high touch CSM? You mentioned a high touch
Yes.
CSM versus the ones that are using digital ones.
So I'm going to sound stupid, but comp plan is compensation plan, meaning how am I if I'm getting bonus?
Yes, incentive plans
Okay,
or comp plan. Yeah, compensation.
I'm not getting any bonus, and honestly, I think it's fair because I'm creating communication. But when there is an issue, it's the support who deals with that. So I have a fixed salary, but I'm
Okay,
happy with
so
that.
no, no, that's okay. So, we, so one of the things, is in terms of, your vision for how you see digital CS in 1 year, 3 years, 5 years from now.
So hopefully, with more data, with more depth when it comes to the data, so we will be able to address the data. Sorry, Conrad, high touch CSM have a compensation plan. Sorry, the question before.
Okay.
So
Sorry, this is his comment. Yes, sorry, comp plan is equal to bonuses based on MBO.
uh, he's gonna hate me. MBO.
Management by objectives.
Okay.
So basically, you have a goal of renewal or churn below
Okay.
3%.
So no, on me no, because also I always have more customers to deal with. I have a base of maybe I didn't count, but maybe 4,000 accounts. So it's not a fair game to high touch CSM because the truth is I'm sending automatic email. I'm not having a real relationship with them. So future of digital CS 3 to 5 years. I'm hoping we will have more data. I'm hoping we will go more in depth when it comes to to customer success platform. And I hope I will have more knowledge. I hope we will be able to develop more knowledge when it comes to adoption and customer enablement. At the moment, I do know that a lot of platform exists and a lot of training exists to train our customer, but I find it very tough to educate our customers on an end user basis and also on an account basis digitally about our product because when when you are facing a video or a webinar, you tend to get bored very quickly. So I hope not your webinar, don't worry, but I do hope that we will get more skill and we will be able to gamify more the adoption with our customers based on our product. So it will really become more easy for them and also based on the desired outcome. So they will really feel that we address them directly.
Okay, no, I mean, you mentioned gamification of adoption, which is itself a very fascinating topic, and almost worthy of having a podcast just around that.
Yeah.
Uh, so, I mean, I'm not going to bring that up here. I know, I'm also looking at the clock here. So, and no question. So, thank you again, Elizabeth. I think you have shared some real nuggets here. I've learned so much, and I'm speaking for the audience as well, that they probably have picked up at least a few things
Well,
that they didn't know when they joined. So thank you so much again, and hopefully we would get to speak to you again
sure.
soon.
Awesome. I also
Take it.
saw few faces I liked, so and I know. So hello everyone. I was very happy to see you there.
Okay, so before I let you go, I'll just put the one last
Mhm.
question from Conrad. Sorry about that. This
Sure.
is the absolute last question. Since the launch of the digitization of CS, did you see Needle
Yeah.
more positively in terms of adoption and retention? And it's a good question, so that's why I wanted to kind of bring it up quickly.
Well, honestly, so yes, it moved positively. First, internally because of the economic context. So everyone wants to do more with less money. So it evolved amazingly, and internally as well because the more you try, the more you optimize and you work on your communication, because I work on my communication once a quarter. You realize that there is more opening, you realize that there is more adoption, you realize that there is more retention. So yes, it was improved, but not since we launched digital CS, because our customer do not know that it's digital CS. It's more because I worked on the communication and I see that when you work on the object, for instance, our customer open our email more. When you make your form more fun, it was like that. It's also worked like that. Thanks, Conrad.
So, few thanks from some of the people watching. So again, thank you once again. And as I said, that was the last question. I won't put up any more questions.
Thank you.
And thanks again for your time.
Thank
Yeah.
you so
And
much.
to your husband for taking care of the kids.
I will definitely tell him. Thank you.
Okay, take care. Bye.
Bye.